ووجدك ضالا فهدى, and he found you lost in God as you farming. This ayat is the reason I become a Muslim.
Western men, non-Muslim men, objectify their women and point the finger at Muslim men and say that we oppress our women. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now, if you're a Western man or a non-Muslim man, you're probably getting a bit upset at what I'm saying now, right? But you got to think about it like this. It's not your fault. You have been taught, or you have been conditioned to think that showing off your woman, whether it's your girlfriend or your wife, makes you more of a man. And it doesn't. It makes you weak. Now, I became a Muslim over 12 months ago, probably about 14 months ago now. It was about 2 years ago that I was actually introduced to Islam, where someone gave me the Quran and I started studying it. Now I'm a man who grew up in the West. I'm a man who grew up thinking that for me to be more of a man, for the world to look at me like I'm more of a man, that I need to have some beautiful woman on my side and everybody needs to know about it. That's where I centered my value, was how good of a woman I could get would determine how cool of a man I was, right? This is what you men are led to believe. You think walking around with a Barbie on your arm will make other men look at you and go, you know what, I want to be like. The only part of that where these men look at you and they want to be like you is when you got her on your back. That's the only part of wanting to be you, right? And you think about it from this perspective, because a lot of men don't have a choice in this matter. You just have to jump on board, right? Now, like, we live in a world now where if you tell a woman, hey, I don't want you to show your titties to everybody, you're controlling it. Or if you say to her, I don't want your ass hanging out. Hey, when we go out, can you just dress a little bit more conservatively? Because I don't like the way guys look at you. You'll be called insecure. You'll be called pathetic. You'll be called controlling. They'll even throw a narcissist at you, right? And then she's going to go run off to her friends and tell all her friends, and then you're just going to be some loser who's insecure, right? For wanting to do what comes naturally to you as a man, to protect yours, to protect those things you care about, to protect it from anybody coming and taking it, from protecting it from even eyes looking at it, right? This is your right as a man. When you decide, when you choose a woman and you're like, I'm going to protect this woman, I'm going to feed this woman, I'm going to care for her, I'm going to do everything I can for her, right? What's she doing for you, bro? She's still got her titties hanging out and her ass hanging out and wearing skimpy clothes, walking around seeking the validation of other men. And then why would she argue with you when you ask her to dress a bit more conservative to keep it for you? Like, bro, what's special for you anymore? You're going to love, protect, care for a woman who can't even put a t-shirt on for you, bro. Think about it. Think about it. Now, Muslim women choose to cover. It's a relationship between them and God that they decide, you know what, I'm going to put a hijab on, I'm going to put a niqab on, I'm going to dress less provocatively, right, or more pious. There's plenty of single Muslim women out there that are dressing like this. They don't even have a partner. So who's oppressing them? So 2025, brothers, you need to find you a Muslim woman. She don't need the attention from the woman. She's already covered, bro. She's already made her deal with God, with Allah. She's just looking for a man to look after her now.
ووجدك ضالا فهدى, and he found you lost in God as you farming. This ayat is the reason I become a Muslim. It's a bit of a story. I'll try and get through it. But here we go. In 2023, so 2 years ago now, I found myself at the end of a toxic relationship. Nobody wants to admit they're in a toxic relationship, but man, it's painful. I don't know people who've been through it, but you know, it's the heart has got the desire. You want to keep running back and you want to keep drinking that poison, right? But I realized what I was in and I thought I needed to get out of it. Sold everything I owned. I packed up everything else that I had, put it in the storage, and I booked a ticket and I ran off overseas. I ended up flying to Thailand and putting myself into a Muay Thai camp. And there was another reason I went to Thailand too, for the fitness, for all that Thailand has to offer. After about 2 weeks of putting everything I could into my body, I was lost, Fano. I was absolutely lost. I was in a hotel room in the middle of Thailand. I could have done anything I wanted. I could have went surfing, could have went paragliding, anything. I was in the world's playground, right? and I was in my room and I had this heaviness over me. And this morning I remember trying to pack my bag to go to training and I just couldn't pull myself together. I couldn't. But before I left Australia, my brother-in-law, he kind of knew what was going on. And he gave me a copy of the Quran. He said, "Aki, take this with you." I wasn't a Muslim. I had no interest in Islam. And for those of you who don't know, I served in the Australian Army. Spent a fair bit of time in Afghanistan fighting the Taliban. So I had come to a lot of conclusions about what Muslims were and what Islam was. Right? And another part of this is I was raised a Christian. And at 17, my mother got cancer and she praised Jesus. Jesus is going to heal me. All this, right? All that. And I watched her die a slow, painful death. So I was searching for God. I wanted to connect to God. But in my brain, from what I was taught as a kid, Jesus was God. And I wanted nothing to do with that version of God. Because my mother put so much faith in that God. And he did nothing. But if there's one thing I've always done when I'm down, I train. I go and torture my body. I started packing my bag for training. And I pulled my big bag out to grab some more clothes out of it. And I pulled the shirt out. And the Quran flicked out with it. I remember looking at it, and I remember my brother-in-law Khalid, who gave me the Quran. I remember him saying to me, "Aki," he goes, "this book will speak to you." He goes, "When you need it," he goes, "pick it up and read it. The first thing you read, Aki, that's what it's speaking to you." And in that moment, I had nothing left. I had nothing to turn to. I had nothing. So I picked that book up, opened it up, Surah Ad-Dua, chapter 93, ayat number 7, or verse 7. "And he found you lost and guided you." I know, when I say I was immediately overwhelmed, I fell on the ground and just started crying and howling. Was this here, Fano? This little ayat here. "And he found you lost and guided you." I was lost. I was so lost. And it hit me like a train. And this hope entered back into my heart. And I think that's the door. That was the door that opened. And I remember messaging my brother Khalid, and he said, "Pray, Aki." He said, "Pray to your Lord, Aki." And I didn't know how to pray, Fano. I went to Sheikh YouTube, and I typed in Muslim prayer, and then Fajr prayer, Dhuhr prayer, and then I started reading about which prayers I should do. And then I started building my day around the Salah. So I'd wake up, I'd pray in the morning, I'd go and train, and I'd come back, and I'd pray midday prayer, then I'd go and train again, and I'd come back and I'd pray afternoon prayer, and then I'd go and train again. And then what the Salah did, it started pulling me away from all the fitna in Thailand. There's an important lesson in all this fun, is that Allah, He was tapping me on the shoulder for years with all the calamities that God sent my way, with all the hardships that I faced. And it was me that wasn't looking. I wasn't ready to turn to Him. But Fano, when Allah comes knocking, don't ignore it. Because honestly, you will get your legs chopped out from underneath you until you turn and you submit. When He wants you, Fano, when He wants you, the world will crumble down around you until you're ready to submit to Allah. Alhamdulillah. Wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Allahu Akbar.